So we've been talking throughout the month of January that with this new year, it's a really good time to get all of your personal kind of things at home in order, if you will. So in today's Injuries Are Personal with attorney Carl Reynolds, we are going to talk about insurance and things that we should make sure we understand in each of our individual policies.
Okay.
You've been stressing me out this month.
I'm
There's
sorry.
a lot of things we got to keep track of in life, but all very, very important.
We got to get our legal house in order.
And you know what? From the legal perspective, this is so important, and I know we've learned so much. So let's start with something I thought we all understood pretty well, but you're telling me there's a lot involved: homeowners insurance.
Well, there's some involved. We buy homeowners insurance and we think of flood insurance. We think of hurricane insurance. We think of, will I even get a policy? Am I in a flood zone? Am I not? Well, I'm going to talk about something separate that most people don't think about relative to homeowners insurance, and that is liability. Okay. You need to have liability coverage, particularly if you have certain things that can cause injury, like a pool or a trampoline.
Right.
So liability insurance on your homeowner's policy is important to have, because if you don't carry it and an incident occurs on your property and you're at fault, you're liable for it or negligent, then come after you. Okay. And that steps in and covers that. You also have something called medical payments coverage. Okay, sometimes it's not your fault. Sometimes accidents happen. I've got a lot of toys at my house. We've got a bunch of kids running around, several flights of stairs, and there may be nothing wrong with the stairs, but someone could fall down them and get hurt. Medical payments coverage on your policy will help cover those people you invite over your home, cover their medical bills up to the limits you buy in medical payments coverage. And are either of those two things, either liability or the medical payments, things that are definitely there already and we don't realize it, or will we have had to specifically make sure they were there? Most of the time they're there, but the limits can be changed depending on your needs. Okay, for example, liability can be increased, especially if you have assets you want to protect and you have those nuisances that could cause injury. Same thing with medical payments coverage. The other issue too is a lot of us are pet owners, and there's a lot of exclusions for pets. So you need to check with your homeowner's policy to make sure that they cover pets. There's certain breeds of dogs that almost are never covered depending on the insurance company. Pit bulls, Rottweilers, Doberman Pinschers, those things, they're typically not covered on policy. So you need to check that, because if your animal happens to bite someone, even if it's the Amazon guy coming by and bites them, you're liable for the injuries. And that is all covered within our homeowners coverage. Correct. All right, things to check on that First of the year, it's time to check it. Like checking batteries and a smoke detector. Go over your policy. If you need help, give my firm a call. We can go over it with you.
Nope, I think that's a great idea. And quickly, we've talked before about auto insurance.
Right.
Is there anything in particular you want everybody to stop and look at on their auto insurance policy?
Well, it's a good idea to review it annually. You should shop it, regularly, because prices change and competitors come up. But if your circumstances change, if you've acquired property, if you inherited property, you may need to make sure you have as much liability insurance as possible to cover you in the event of an unfortunate accident. Couple other things when you purchase vehicles. We talked about the new year, Christmas, maybe you purchase a vehicle. You want to protect yourself relative to the vehicle. You should have collision coverage. If you have a sizable deductible, then you need to make sure you have money set aside to cover that if you're at fault. The other issue is, a lot of times, if we overfinance a vehicle, we're going to be upside down. So even with collision coverage, let's say we have a vehicle that we owe $20,000 on, but we've driven it off the lot, so now it's only worth $15,000. All right? You get in a wreck, well, your insurance company's only going to cover the $15,000, what it's worth. That $5,000 difference is on you. So you
have to pay that loan back.
Right. But if when you purchase a vehicle, you buy gap insurance, then it usually covers that difference. So there's things that you could do to protect yourself. And again, we can go over the nuances, but specifically, you need to make sure you carry as much liability insurance, and we talked about this in earlier segments, but uninsured motorist coverage. You have to have that. Because you have a 50% chance of getting hit by someone who has no insurance or no bodily insurance on the roads of Florida. All
right, a lot of different things to keep track of in our legal houses, but all incredibly important, so we appreciate you spelling it out for us so we make the best decisions we can for our families. For more information about any of your legal questions, go to injuriesarepersonal.com. We'll be right back.